Welcome to another video by Techie Mama, your best source for tutorials on WordPress and mompreneur tech. Save hours of research that goes nowhere. Learn at your own pace on your own time. Celebrate your wins faster with more results. Apply your new knowledge immediately. If you like this video, subscribe to YouTube and get notifications, and connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Hey everybody, I am so excited to have Amy Edge with us today. Amy is a director of operations and integrator for impact-driven entrepreneurs and mompreneurs. After founding Amy Edge & Co., she turned her passion into a full-time business alongside 5 team members to ensure clients are taking the right next step for their business. Her transparency, ownership, and standard of excellence allow her to service her clients with success while providing tangible results. Now, let's hear from Amy.
Hey, I'm so excited to do this masterclass for you today, all about project management for visionary leaders. And this is extremely true because no matter if you have a business or you are starting your side hustle or you are the parent in your family, or to your kids, should I say, you are a leader. You are a visionary leader. And so what we need to do as a visionary leader is to really understand how we can pull project management into those different pieces to create some effective and productive strategies to really see success in all of the areas in our lives. And so today, that's what I'm going to go through with you. I'm going to go through how we can really utilize project management to become the extraordinary visionary leader that we are meant to be. And so before I get started, I want to just quickly introduce myself. I am a former childhood educator turned impact-driven entrepreneur. I am an operations and project management expert for visionaries and change makers in the online space. I've done this through honing my skills and my zone of genius through certifications to really become an operational leader and integrator within my client's business. This strategic partnership increases profits, empowers their team, scales their business without frustration and complete ease. I'm also the founder of the Raising Sisterhood movement, the book, and our community called The Collective. It is really my desire with this foundation to curate a platform to celebrate, empower, and lift up our sisters as we navigate towards changing our narrative and really stepping into our greatness. And the reason why I'm talking to you today about project management for visionary leaders, and I want you to understand why I am an expert at this, is I've been doing this operations consulting and leadership for over 8 years in the online space. And I've been in the trenches, in the day-to-day operations of businesses ranging from $100K per year to $6 million per year in revenue. So I really understand how can we take these visions that we have for our lives, for our businesses, and put them into action and really execute them well. So let's move on and talk really about the meat and potatoes of the presentation today, the project management for visionary leaders. So let's start with this sort of question. What is your vision and how does project management factor into the vision coming to life? This is a big question, right? We want to lead profitable but purpose-filled businesses. And so how do we do that and also be aligned with the roles that we have outside of our business, such as how does that align with our parenting roles? How does that align with maybe being a homeschool teacher? How does that align with the other things? And so that's what we want to get really deep into first before we talk about the actions that you need to take. So the very first thing that we want to do is casting your vision. This is arguably one of the most important, but sometimes overlooked pieces when we're crafting business solutions or when we're crafting solutions for our businesses. More often than not, you might have already casted your vision for success. And so a lot of times we sit down and there's like two different parties here when people start a business. One set of people are going to sit down, they're really going to look at their vision, their mission, and their values of the business that they want to create. They're going to write it all down, they're going to understand it, and then they start taking action, right? Then there's another group of people who start taking action immediately, and then after they see a little bit of success roll in, then they go back like, okay, now let me look at my mission, my vision, all of these things. And so you might be in one of those two camps, or maybe you haven't thought about creating this vision, but this is really the most important piece. So if you have not created a vision for your business, we're going to talk about how to do that now. If you have created a vision for your business in the past, when was the last time you reviewed it? And I want to encourage you to sit down and really think through the current statement that you have. Is it applicable to where you want to go? Have things changed? You know, seasons and ideas, they change quickly. And sometimes they change more drastically and rapidly as an online business owner. And before we can revamp any systems or we change directions, the first step is to always review our vision statement. And so there's 3 important questions that I want you to ask as you're casting your vision to success. I want you to ask yourself, does this vision align with where you want to go? Then I want you to ask, does it still state the impact that you want to create? And does it echo your hopes and forward momentum that you want to take within the next 3 years? Because when we're creating this vision, we're not looking at 90 days. We're not looking at 6 months. We're not even looking at the 1 year mark. We're looking forward. We're thinking in 3 to 5 years, what is our vision then? So when we cast this vision and we really create something that is meaningful, we are able to begin pulling out the projects and pulling out the initiatives that we want to move forward and that are aligned with where we want to go. This is essential as the leader of your business, whether you are a team of 1 or a team of many. You want to make sure that the things that you are taking on as a project are going to move the needle in your business 110%. Not only should we be casting a vision for our business, but also for all of the other parts of our lives that are extremely important to us, such as your family. These are just as important. So creating a vision statement, you should essentially have at least 2. You should have 1 vision statement for your business, and then you should also have 1 vision statement for your family or whatever that other thing is for you. And so when we're thinking about vision statements, I want to give you some examples. And so an example of a business vision statement could be, in 3 to 5 years, I want to be working with 200 female coaches per year through crafting a coaching certification that they go through that they can then use themselves, right? So that's an example of a very short vision statement for a business. For a vision statement for your family or your life, you could say in 3 to 5 years, I want to be able to take the summer off with my kids, or I want to be able to take, 2 weeks per month off, or something along those lines. If we know that vision, then we can reverse engineer, okay, how do I actually get to that point? And those are the projects that we should be taking on. And if they don't help us get to that vision, we don't do them. And we want whatever we do from now until that vision, 3 to 5 years, they should be a stepping stone to help us get there. Every project is a stepping stone. It is our pathway to get there. We cannot move forward or reach any goals without this one piece, without the vision piece. If you have not created the vision, you should. It's, in my opinion, you should not try and build a 90-day launch plan without a vision. You should not launch a course without your vision. You should not build a website without a vision. Nothing should happen until you really hone in on that vision. If you are not working on the projects that's going to move you closer to the vision, then honestly, you're just wasting time, you're wasting effort, and you're wasting money. And I don't want that for you. I want you to take actionable steps that's going to lead you down the path that you want to be led. Now, I want you to think about it like this, okay? If you are going hiking, you would take a compass into the woods with you. Without the compass, you would wind up roaming the woods, constantly zigzagging past, going in circles. You would be aimless. You'd have no direction. It would be fruitless. The same applies to business and life. If we have no clue where we are going or where we want to go, we're going to end up being squirrels. We're going to get caught up in the shiny object syndrome. That's not where we want to go. That's not effective. That's not productive. That is not what a leader does. And so this is not how we build a business, a successful business, and a fulfilling life. We have to have that vision. So what do we do? So now we know all of this. What do we actually do? And how do we actually make a really concrete vision? So I want you to ask yourself these questions and journal them out to really get an idea of how we're building the successful business and how we're building this fulfilling life as well. So I want you to journal, what do you want your business to look like? What does that look like to you? What does a successful business where you're succeeding look like? How do you want it to feel? So when you build that successful business, how do you want to feel? How are you going to spend your time once you have this successful business? How do you envision creating an impact with your business and your family? And how can you live with more purpose? And so these are the questions that we really have to get in tune with, because when we know these things, we can truly decide what projects are in alignment to build a successful business and life. And that's really, really important for us to move forward and to really take those right next steps. And so now, once we've created a vision and we know what projects that are on our list, and we know that they can be profitable, we know that they're going to move us in the right direction, we need to do the second most important tactic in your arsenal, which is prioritizing. This is super important. Prioritization is one of the most important pieces to using your time effectively as a leader in business and at home. We all think, oh, I can do 8 million things this week. I can schedule 5 calls in a row and get everything that I need to get done. I can do this, I can do that. But inevitably, we cannot juggle all of the things. We cannot. You can only climb one ladder at a time. And so we have to be really narrow-minded when we're thinking about prioritization and how we prioritize in our business, in our life. Now look, let me get a little bit real with you. I juggle a lot, okay? I juggle my clients' businesses. I juggle my own business. I juggle, the actual steps I have to take to my own personal goals. I have 4 kids that all have a schedule of their own, virtual school, in-person school. We all have a lot, especially right now. But you have to dedicate time to figure out how do we improve our productivity so that we can reach the vision of success that we're looking for. You see, most of my clients are visionary entrepreneurs, which means they are high-level, forward-thinking entrepreneurs. They're not into the details, which is good because that's where I excel. That's my zone of genius. But these visionary entrepreneurs like you still need to have systems and ways to move through the day and the week so that you or your team can execute on that vision in the long run. When we don't prioritize, what's going to happen is you're going to get stuck in these menial little tasks instead of the ones that actually propel your business forward. And that's not where we want to sit when we're logging into the computer every day. So how do we know what to prioritize? There's tons of different ways on how you can do this. Everyone has their own opinion, but I'm going to tell you the top 3 ways that I prioritize with my clients, with my own business. Number 1, time-based revenue generating tasks. These are tasks that are going to make you money, and typically they have some sort of due date on them. So you can think of this like an example would be responding to emails or DMs to get people to get on a consult call, right? Or following up with that proposal that you just did last week. Those are things that are time-based, meaning you just did them such and such and they need a reply within this date. And if you were to close these, they're going to create revenue. We also want to do any task based on our goal. So if our goal is, to build a community or a membership, then all of the tasks aligned with creating that should be a priority as well. And then we also want to prioritize the complex, hardest tasks. And the reason why we want to do that is because those are going to take the longest for the most part. And so we want to start working on those because they are going to take the longest instead of doing like something that's going to just take 5-10 minutes. We don't want to get sucked into those tasks that aren't really going to move the needle. So if we look at this in like, how do we compare? So a complex or hardest task perhaps could be creating a funnel in Kajabi. That's a complex, hard task. It has many layers and many different pieces to that. Vice versa, going into Canva and making social media graphics because you like to do it. I'm sure you might need social media graphics for your Instagram account, but do you need to spend an hour doing that? Would your hour be better spent in Kajabi building the sales funnel that's actually going to create money by the time we get it launched? So that's how we kind of look and say, okay, how do we prioritize? Where do they fit in my buckets? So if anything falls outside of these 3 tasks, then they can go into a list that typically is called not urgent, not important, we'll get to it later list. Or these are perfect tasks that you could give over to a VA if you have one on your team. We have to focus on what is going to move that needle the fastest in your business. And by identifying if your tasks fall into these 3 categories, you're going to be able to do this. So now that we have our vision, we also know how to prioritize in our business, we need to figure out how to use project management effectively for our business and for our life. And so the biggest tip and the biggest game changer that I had in my business and that my clients see in their business is to utilize a project management system, which I lovingly refer to as a PM system. And the key, actually using it. So you can set it up, but if you never use it, it's not going to help you at all. You have to actually use it. Anything that you need to accomplish should always be put in your PM tool. And it has to be there. You have to use it. That's the only way that things are going to be productive for your business. And this PM tool doesn't have to just be for business. You can use it for your life too. So for example, I use Asana and I have been for 8 years. And not only do I have my clients' projects in my Asana, my own projects in there, but I also have my life. Like, it runs my life as a mom. For instance, I plan my weekly menu in Asana. I plan Christmas presents in there, holiday planning, reminders to buy presents, all of these things. They're always in my PM system because it runs my life. I open Asana. It tells me what I need to do every day. There's no guesswork because it's in Asana, right? And so there's 2 keys when we are utilizing APM, a project management system. And it's very simple. Each task needs a due date assigned to it, and each task needs a person assigned to it. Even if the only person on your team right now is you, you still need to put your face on it. You still need to add a due date on it. That is how we're going to know, what do I need to do every day and how do I actually get to the end of the road with this project. So let me tell you kind of a funny story on how we balance using Asana, a PM tool, in business and life. So I run my business with my husband, and Asana is literally what keeps our whole life together. So my husband knows that unless something is on my Asana list, I'm probably not going to do it. He can look at me in the kitchen and we can be like 3 inches away and he can say, I need you to send this email to this person. And I will hear him, I will acknowledge him, but I will completely forget about it because it's not in my Asana. I look at my Asana like, okay, this is all the things that I need to do. I'm going to get it done. I made this commitment. This is holding me accountable. I'm going to do it, right? So I'm not going to do it unless he puts it in my Asana. And that's just kind of how I've learned to manage my day when I'm working. And if I want him to support me with something, I will go into Asana and I will create him a task, put his name, put his due date in it, and ask him to do it. So we just did this a couple of weeks ago, and I made him a task that said, hey, can you schedule dentist appointments for the kids? And because he thought it actually got done, if I would have just kept asking him, I would have forgot to ask him, right? So as soon as I thought about it, I put it in my Asana. This is especially helpful if you have anything that's reoccurring. So reoccurring daily, reoccurring weekly, reoccurring monthly, yearly, annually, whatever the frequency is. That is super helpful because you don't have to go in there and reset it each time. It will just automatically recur. That's how I almost never forget anything, because everything is in Asana. So, yes, I know people use Google Calendar for these sort of things, and I do use Google Calendar a lot as well. But Google Calendar doesn't necessarily have that. I know it can reoccur, but it's not yelling at me, right? It's not going to be sitting in my calendar red saying, oh, you didn't do that. And that's what Asana does. It keeps it front of mind. And, I use Google Calendar, and I do suggest using it whenever you're scheduling calls. But fun fact, you can use Zapier to connect your Google Calendar to Asana. And then as soon as somebody makes an appointment, all the information goes into Asana. That's what I do. That's how I know, like, okay, I have to prep for this call, or I have this thing going on, X, Y, and Z, right? So unless you take the time to actively use this project management system, nothing is going to change. Your productivity is not going to change. Your effectiveness is not going to change. Your revenue is not going to increase. None of it. So you have to use this PM system. And so by us using these three things, our vision, we're casting our vision, then we're prioritizing the projects and the tasks that need to happen in order for us to reach our vision. And then we're taking all of those projects and all of those tasks, and we're putting them in our project management system. These three things are going to allow you to really sit in the visionary leader role of your business and life. And so what I want to just to encourage you and let you know is how you spend your time and energy this week should be a representation of your priorities and your projects and your vision. You need to choose them intentionally by focusing on important goal-related tasks, and that will make everything else feel easier and feel more effective. And so that's really how you're going to continue to step into the visionary leader that you want to be by using project management as your go-to piece. So what I want to do is I also want to invite you to download my free workbook, The Systems for Scaling, to really help you map out and create systems via your project management system with ease. So you can really begin to grow, then essentially scale your business. It will help you bring on the right talent to your team, whether that's a VA or an expert, whenever it is time for you to do that. So you can go here, amyedge.com/systems, to download the free workbook. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to send me an email. My email is hello@amyedge.com. And I really hope you got a lot of golden nuggets out of this and you're able to put these things into action. If you have any other questions or need any other support, please reach out, and thanks so much.
Find me on all social media at Techie Mama and subscribe to YouTube for more videos.